Hello, good morning, good morning. It is a wonderful morning here at AFarmers Media where we connect, learn, and grow. Thank you for joining us. This is the AFarmers Breakfast Show with me, Masi Kemuto, and I am excited today to be here. It's a Thursday, and the week is moving quite fast. I don't say swiftly. The week is actually moving swiftly. We are almost coming to the end of the week. We started off the week with a high, the highest tone possible. And this week we've been learning and actually not actually learning, but hearing about complaints of what is actually happening recently in our country. So this is the breakfast show, and I'm so excited that I'm here today with you, my viewers. And don't forget to join us on our social media pages. We are at AFarmers Media on Facebook. We are also AFarmers with a Z on both Instagram and Twitter. You can as well subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're also on YouTube. We are live currently. We are at AFarmers Media. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can be notified once we go live or upload a new video. And if by any chance, if you've missed any of our previous content or any of our previous video, you can actually find these videos on Facebook or on YouTube. Once we finish our lives, we actually do re-upload these videos so that you can get to learn each and every single day, because each and every single day that we wake up is actually a learning process for us farmers. And today I'm excited, like really excited that I'm here. But before we go that, and I'm also excited about today's topic, but today I want us actually to look around being a farmer. What is it? When you say I'm a student, you know that I go to school, I study, I'll be graduating and such kind of stuff. Or when I say I'm a doctor, you know who I am. And we want to see all about being a farmer, being the best farmer, or being the farmer that actually people would want to look upon, maybe in your area or in your region. And today this is such an amazing topic because it's broad. We're going to look at a number of things, but before we go there, I want us to look at our traffic updates. It's a chilly around 6:30. The sun is already out, but today it's a little bit chilly here at County 034. So I don't know about your area. Tell me how your area is looking like. You can comment down below, engage in this conversation, ask questions. And if you feel like you don't want to comment online or you don't like using social media as much, you can actually call us at 0700293031. Let me repeat that. You can call us on 0700293031. This is if you have any questions or you want to visit our training centers, or you actually want to visit our farm, because maybe our Farmers Media, we have a farm here in Kitengela, we have a farm also in Kajiado. So you can, if you feel like you need to visit this farm and see, I want to know how our Farmers Media do it, you can actually visit on our farm, and that is the number that you can reach out for help. Onto our weather updates. As I've told you, today is a little bit chilly in the morning, and I'm excited. Maybe the rains are almost here because people are actually waiting for the rains. It's almost like, for let's say, I can actually try to put it this way, like it's like a mother who is actually waiting to give birth to her child. The same way farmers are anxiously, like, just praying each and every single day that it will rain, because normally this period of March, I think by now people have already started kupalilia, like mboga zishamea, mahindi shamea, mimea ishamea, so people are actually wanapalilia sasa hivi. But due to the weather, due to the prices of farm inputs, trust me, it's a little bit hectic for the farmers, but we are going to look at that later on. Onto our weather updates. Nairobi is a little bit sunny with max of 27 degrees. We have Mombasa, it is sunny. You know Mombasa, the weather of Mombasa, it's sunny, max of 28 degrees. Nakuru will be partly cloudy, but it will also be sunny with max of 25 degrees. Eldoret is partly cloudy. Kisumu is cloudy with marks of 26 degrees. We have Narok is sunny with marks of 25 degrees. Then we have Kilifi, which is sunny with marks of 29 degrees. Moyale is sunny with marks of 30 degrees. Actually, the northern part of Kenya is really sunny, and the temperatures are actually going up to 32 degrees. And we're just hoping that the rain is going to rain, and at least we put something on our soils, because if not, then the level of our food security is actually going to lower. The amount of food that you will be producing come the next season will a little bit be lesser compared to what you're supposed to produce. So we're actually praying that the rains will be here. Marsabit is sunny with marks of 28 degrees. Same to Taveta, sunny with marks of 29 degrees. And I don't see any area that is currently receiving rainfall today. And let's just hope that it's going to rain. So that's all we have today for our weather updates. Despite the water, if you are a farmer and you're depending on the rain, just our fingers are crossed. We're praying that the rain is going to come, because without the rain, then we are at a very, very, very bad place. And onto our traffic updates before we dive into the topic. Our traffic updates today. Mombasa Road has not much traffic. Nice view from Rural Electrification Authority warehouse. We also have Thika Road, it's slow but moving. Langata Road is not moving. We have been stuck here since 7:30. And we also have Ngong Road, it's slow but it's actually moving. Then people are actually saying that the Nairobi Expressway shouldn't be launched before reinstating the old highway to its original or better condition and size, lanes, and also lanes. We thought it should be launched because we need to move quite safely. And also there's an accident near toll station in Thika Road, 4 lifeless bodies, and that have been hit by lorries heading towards Wadebridge. Then someone is saying that the cops forgot to service the service lane at Muthaiga on Thika Road, and they've been standstill for almost 10 minutes. It's actually not moving. And always would tell me where you are watching us from, and you can actually tell us how the traffic in where you are looks like, and I'm sure I'm going to read it out. And onto today's topic. As I said, we're going to discuss all about being a farmer. What does it entail, you being a farmer? And what does it have, or what do you have to do for you to become a successful farmer? I'm saying the farmer because we have farmers and we have the farmer. Like that one particular farmer that you would actually want to look at and say, hey, by the way, I want to be like that and that neighbor of mine. Or by the way, I want to be like that farmer over there and everything. And being a good farmer, being a successful farmer, has a lot to do with majority of things that we're going to discuss today. And I actually have a question. What made you a successful farmer? Because I believe everyone out there is successful. Despite the size of land that you have, I believe that everyone in their own ways, they are actually successful and they are proud of themselves. So you can actually tell me, how does it feel? Or what did you do to do things? Or what did you do different? That's my question. What did you do different for you to become that farmer? And for you to become that farmer, it's not just something that you wake up one day today and tomorrow you're like, oh God, I'm a successful farmer. No, it has a lot of things. It has a lot of sacrifices to make. It has a lot of things to do with research, has a lot of things with you planning yourself and your financial discipline, just a lot of things. And before we go even further, we have the what's trending this morning. And I'm actually surprised that in the next 2-3 weeks, we have over 800,000 vaccines that will be expiring. That's so sad because these vaccines are meant to save a life. So you can imagine 800,000 that's not just like simple numbers. That's a lot of vaccines that are actually going to expire and that will be going to wastage. That's so sad. That's like one of the saddest things that I've heard this morning. And prices are actually continuing going higher and higher and higher. The prices here in Kenya are actually skyrocketing. Like, they're just going high. Like, just wake up. Yesterday you left milk price at 45, and this morning you find milk is at 58 shillings, with an increase of almost more than 10 shillings. People are complaining actually because milk is a commodity that everyone consumes. Not everyone, but a higher percentage of people or citizens actually do consume milk. And you can imagine a single packet of milk moving from 45 shillings to 57, 58 shillings, and people are actually saying that it will be going higher. And it has reached a point whereby the supermarket are going to ration the number of milk you buy to ensure that each and every person gets, like, at least, even if it's 2 packets of milk, at least you get it. So you can imagine how bad that is getting. We also have I actually realized that we have a new pulse crop that is called pigeon pea. In Kiswahili tunaita mbaazi, that is grown in Laikipia County, that is actually doing quite very well. It takes up to 5 months for it to mature. It's a product that people of Laikipia County are actually embracing it, like, really much. Like, this is a crop that people have embraced. It's doing quite well. It takes up to 5 months for maturity, and it does well in that particular the particular region of Kenya. And that's all I have for what is trending today. But yesterday I realized a very funny thing. We have wild animals that are actually getting into a farmer's farm and eating up the crops. And you can imagine in the situation, you have situation of farm inputs being high, and you have another situation of actually having wild animals coming at night to eat your crops. This has led to farmers going to an extent of actually having to stay up late at night for them to be able to guide their crops. That's a very serious issue, and this goes out to the Kenya Wildlife Service to actually take care of these wild animals, give farmers an humble time, like, lessen their problems. They should not be dealing with so many problems, because now this goes back to the Kenya Wildlife Services to ensure that if it's the wild animals, they are in the place they're supposed to be, to ensure having farmers stay up late at night, risking their lives for them to be able to guide their crops. And that's it I have for the news this morning. And now we go back to the topic. As I said, you're going to discuss being a successful farmer, being that particular farmer who, like, you're at peace with what you're doing, like, you're comfortable, you enjoy what you're doing. Like, it doesn't reach that point of you wake up and feel that I'm not doing this. It has reached a point whereby with what you're doing, you are actually motivated to wake up each and every single day, and you're like, I'm going to do I'm going to do this today. I'm going to move a staircase higher, and I'm going to do it to make it that at the end of the day, I'm actually becoming out perfect. As I told you the other day, don't forget, you have to practice. Being a farmer is having you to practice. It's like learning a new language. If currently I need to learn maybe a different language, I have to keep on practicing it. Just don't learn and sit and wait, and I'll be like, okay, I've learned how to speak this particular language, so I'm good at this. If you don't learn, you actually forget. And since farming is a skill and it's also an art, you have to keep on learning each and every single day. And your learning means that you're practicing. Just don't, like, if it's a language that I'm learning, I have to practice. So if it's farming, and farming is a skill, this means that you have to keep on practicing each and every single day. And one of the things that makes you be that farmer, be that particular farmer, it's just doing research with what you're doing in your farm. Be it a small farm, be it a big farm, be it a commercial or a subsistent farm, you have to do thorough research. Starting from the soil, here at AFarmers, we actually keep on insisting on testing your soil. Take your soil to the lab. If you're sick, You go to the hospital and you're tested and you're told where your problem is. So take your soil to the lab, it gets tested, and you're going to testify to this. If you actually learn what's wrong with your soil, or if you actually get to understand and know your soil better, this means that you're going to do it differently and you're going to come out doing an amazing job or having the best yield that you've never seen. And this is why we keep on insisting here at AFarmers. Just take a sample from your farm, take it to the soil, because good yields start from the soil. It doesn't start from the fertilizer. It doesn't start from the type of seed that you're planting. No, it actually starts from the soil. You're getting to understand the type of soil that is in your farm, the type of nutrients that it has, and also the type of nutrients that it's lacking. And that's the most important part of it. You have to understand the type of nutrients that your farm is lacking for you to be a successful farmer. And as I said, today we're going to look at how to be that farmer. And one step is getting to understand your soil. And for you to be able to understand your soil, you have to take your soil to the lab for a test and get to know what your soil entails and everything. You just actually get a very good report, a very good detailed report of what your soil wants. Secondly, for you to be that farmer, or for you to be that successful farmer, now here goes back to your financial discipline, your financial management and everything. You being able to manage your finances, you being able to understand that in this season I spent 10,000, and after the harvest season I'm actually going to get, or after I have harvested my crops and sold them to the market, I'm actually going to get a gross income of 20,000. You being able to get to understand that all this money, I'm not going to take it back to the farm. Yes, I need more yields, but I need to sit down and plan this money correctly. That is what is called financial discipline. Don't just start spending that money if you're not sure what you actually want to do with it. Sit down. If you are the breadwinner, sit down, know how this money is actually going to balance between your farm and you being able to provide for your family. Understand that this money has some part of it, a portion of that money has to go back to planting again. So you have to calculate and get to understand that in the next coming season, I'm going to plant 2 more new crops. I've been planting maize and beans. So then come next season, I'm going to try capsicum and onions. How much do I need for me to be able to plant capsicum? How many seeds am I going to buy? How am I going to get the fertilizer to use in this particular portion of land that I've started planting new crops? You have to get to understand all these things for you to be able to be a disciplined farmer financially. That's the financial part of it. For you to be able to be a disciplined farmer, you have to get to understand all these small details that actually people tend to ignore, and they'll be like, with farmers you get. The other day here we were discussing about why farmers are not loaned out money easily. It's because they don't invest. They don't take their money to the bank. It's just from hand to hand, and once you get that money to your palm, you'll be like, I have a lot of things. I'm going to start saving next time. No, don't procrastinate. If it's actually possible, start saving from the minute that you started farming. The minute that you had your first harvest, that's the moment you should actually start investing. And we get to see the importance of investing. We've discussed here at AFarmers some of the importance or some of the advantages of you actually farming, and this comes in hand when you want to plant a new crop. As you said, I have 2 crops in my farm, I need to add more. I have a small money that I have saved. I'm going to invest in these new crops. But you're going to invest in those new crops after you have done thorough research. Being a farmer doesn't mean you just wake up one day and decide that I'm going to do this. No, you have to do a thorough research, get to understand what you're doing, get to understand what you're planting, how does it do in my area, get to see testimonials, get to understand people what plants they are actually planting and how they're doing it, what is the best seed to use, which is the best fertilizer to use, and which is the safest possible pesticides to use in your farm. These are the most important things that you actually have to understand. And secondly, apart from being financially disciplined, you being able to plan your money very well, you being able to know that in this, just draw a chart or just write down what you want. I got 20,000, right? Yes. So I need to buy seeds, I need to buy fertilizer, I need to maybe pay school fees, I need to save, I need to pay my laborers in my farm. Those are some of the things that you consider. After distracting all that you have, even investing has to come into your calculations. Usiseme ati I'm going to calculate ile pesa itabaki ndio nita invest. Hapana. Know what percentage you want to invest. If you put in mind that for every season, for every amount that I get, I'm going to invest 20% of it. That way makes you easier and makes you actually disciplined, and actually will benefit you later on if you need funding to do, maybe to grow your your farm. You need to maybe you need to plant new crops, you feel like you need to rear new animals into your farm. This invested money that you've actually invested is going to help you, and that's why we actually insist on farmers investing, even if it's the smallest amount possible. Just ensure that you invest. And another way for you to become that farmer, I'll say, is how you manage your labor in the farm. How do you manage labor in your farm? Because you're sure you're not going to make it alone. You won't manage to do it alone, and you won't be able to actually plant, upalilie, uvune, you store, you actually, and again you prepare your land for farming again. You won't be able to do it alone. You need to have people in your farm to help you out, and you need to be able to be a good employer. Before employing someone to your farm, get to understand, okay, what type of work do I need it to be done in my farm, and not actually the type of work that you need it to be done in your farm, but also how do I want it done. Because you know the farmers want their farm like really clean, no weeds at all. And when I mean no weeds at all, and we have people who actually do it perfectly. There's the time back home when I went to see my grandma, and we have this a farm helper who actually helps in farming and maybe pruning, maybe kuchuna majani chai and all those type of things. Trust me, this person is not really good at kuchuna majani chai. He's not that fast, because you know with kuchuna majani chai, if you're doing it manually, you need to be very fast. Like you need to be fast for you to catch up with time and for you to be able to take your tea to weighing. So this person is not like really good at that. But when it comes to keeping your farm clean, you can walk through the entire land and you will not see a single plant that is not, you will not see a single weed in that farm. So you need to understand this. I want a person who is good at weeding, or I want a person who is like good or fast in maybe kuchuna majani chai, or I want a person mwenye he can be able to carry my maize fast to the store, back to the farm again, to the store, to the farm again. You need to understand all these things, and you also need to put all these things into consideration. Talking about farm laborers, we have actually some people or some helpers, some farm helpers who actually are best with maybe spraying pesticides. They do it perfectly well, such that in 2-3 weeks there's no even a single pesticide in your farm. We have farmers who actually do that. And as we discuss about you being a good employer and you having person who is knowledgeable and skilled enough depending on what you want to be done in your farm, I have a message, a courtesy of Markup and Unido Kenya. They are sensitizing. It's a message that we as a farmer that we will keep on sensitizing to you farmers each and every single day that you see us here, because it's helpful. And when you get to understand this knowledge, trust me, you as a farmer are going to be safe, or you as an employer are going to ensure that all your farm staff are actually safe. And the message today I have from Markup and Unido is to ensure that you as a person, or you as a person using this pesticide, is safe. Use the headgear, put the mask, put on your gloves, wear gumboots, and ensure that you as an employer, you have a farm, not you have a watering point. Sorry, you have a watering point at outside where you store your pesticides. This ensures that once once you handle, or once your staff handles those pesticides, they come, wash their hands, and this ensures that for their safety, because pesticides are actually chemicals, harmful chemicals, and when you touch and when they come in contact with your hand, and maybe you go and forget and try to eat something, it won't be good. That's why we are sensitizing that. Ensure that you have a watering point outside your where you store your pesticides. Outside your storing area, you have a watering point. Ensure that you store these pesticides away from direct sunlight, and also where it's not like really moist or wet. Just try to store them in a dry place for them to give you service. Just don't store them anyhow. With pesticides, you actually have to be like really careful and really keen, because these are harmful products. You have to keep them out of children's reach, and you have to ensure that you as a farmer, and you as a staff, or you as an employer, you have like what it takes for you to be able to protect yourself, and ensure that you put someone in charge, or the person you put in charge of actually handling these pesticides is actually knowledgeable and knows what he or she is doing, from measuring the pesticides, from how to handle them, from ensuring that you close them tightly. And it's a broad thing, but you as an employer, ensure that you employ someone who is knowledgeable while handling pesticides. And before we continue, I actually want to take a short commercial break, and we come back, we're going to look at some of these attributes that make you that farmer, some of the attributes that make you the farmer. You get like there's this feeling of like, I'm actually doing it right, and I am where I want to be. And these are some of the things that you have to ensure, you have to put in place to ensure that whichever dream that you had once you ventured into this farming journey, you actually get to achieve it. Whichever vision that you had, you actually get to achieve it. And how do you achieve it is on some of the things that I've mentioned, and some of the things that I will be mentioning after this short break. This is a Farmers Breakfast Show. Don't comment to engage in this conversation on Facebook at AFarmers Media, and AFarmers with a Z on both Twitter and Instagram. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel on YouTube at AFarmers Media. We will be back shortly.
Eggplant is an elongated shaped and dark purple fruit, and its leaves are large, ovate, and slightly lobed. Eggplant is a perennial crop but grown commercially as annual. Eggplant grows best in well-drained sandy loam or loam soil. The soil pH should be between 5.8 and 6.5 for best growth. Eggplant requires a regular watering and steadily warm growing conditions.
Beetroot is a highly nutritious root vegetable. The beetroot is the top proportion of a beet plant. It is one of the many varieties of the genus Beta vulgaris, all of which are mostly grown for their edible taproots and leaves. Beetroot is a root crop that takes approximately 3 to 4 months to mature. Beetroot is a fairly easy crop to grow as long as the soil is well cultivated prior to planting. Beetroots do not enjoy wet, boggy or shady soils. Beetroot can be sown in trays and transplanted when the seedlings have 2 true leaves. Plant in full sun, space seedlings 10 to 15 centimeters apart, and rows 20 centimeters to 30 centimeters apart so they have room to grow. Beetroots are also ideal for containers or raised beds. Beetroots will happily thrive in small areas as long as there's at least 20 centimeters depth of soil. Beetroot has been used not only for food but also for treatment for numerous conditions.
Eggplant is an elongated shaped and dark purple fruit, and its leaves are large, ovate, and slightly lobed. Eggplant is a perennial crop but grown commercially as annual. Eggplant grows best in well-drained sandy loam or loam soil. The soil pH should be between 5.8 and 6.5 for best growth. Eggplant requires a regular watering and steadily warm growing conditions.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is the AFarmers Media Breakfast Show with me, Masike Munto, and I'm so excited that you've joined this morning. And this is the place where we connect, learn, and grow as we tell the story of a farmer, a story at a day. In today, the story we're telling, or what we are discussing about, is how to become that farmer. I'm trying to explain the word that farmer. But this means in terms of how to become that one successful farmer, that one farmer who is actually comfortable at where he or she is currently, because this is the dream that he had and their dream have come true. And these are some of the things that we're actually looking out today. And maybe you are a farmer, you have a dream, you want to do something perfect, because when you started this journey, you said, in 3 years time, in 4 years time, I want to be able to have invested this amount of money, and I have to be able to have done ABCD. And so for you to be able to do that, there's some things and there's some discipline that you need to have for you to become that farmer. And one that we have already looked at is you have to have financial discipline. This entails all around. You have to financial discipline. There's no escape route. It's a must. There is no option B for being financially disciplined. It just that's how it is. Like, that's how it's happening. There's no any other option. It's either you are financially disciplined or not. From saving to from being able to understand how much you want to invest back to the farm, and for you to be able to get whatever amount you invested during the planting season, is you get a profit depending on the amount you invested or depending on your goal setting. Another thing we looked at is you being able to be a good farm labor manager. If that's what you being able to manage your farm laborers, your farm staff, from the one maybe who cleans maybe where the animals stay, to the farmer who is in the ground actually farming, to the farmer who ensures that your crops are headed to the market, or the farmer who actually transports your crop to the market. You being able to be a good employer. And another thing that you want to look, not like to what you should do to other people, but you as a person, you as a farmer, what you should actually do. Another thing is for you to be able to learn every single day. As I told you, each and every single day is a learning process. So ensure that before you go to bed, you have a new skill, you've learned something new in your farm, you've learned something new about the crops that you actually have in your farm. This way it helps you to ensure that you're not stuck at one place, you're not stagnant, you are actually moving. Because at the end of the day, we want us to move, not be stuck, not to be stagnant. We want to move from point A to point B, from point B to point C, until we reach the point that we actually want or actually dreamt of being there. And another thing that actually I can say is that farming is not an easy task. It's not a walk in the park. You have to sacrifice. You just don't like sit down and say, oh, I have a farm and I have some people that I've put on the ground. No, you as a person, you as a farmer, you have to be an hardworking person. This means that if I have a farm in, let's say for example in Kajiado or Kangundo, and I'm doing some farming, I have some people there, I just don't sit and wait for the harvest season. No, just surprise these people one day. Wake up, go to the farm and see what actually happens when you are not around. Is it what you actually want to be done? And are the things actually done the way you want them to be done? So this means that you have to put in extra effort. This entails, if for example, if you're doing an extra job, if you're taking an extra job, or if you're doing a side job apart from farming, this needs, you have to put in a lot of sacrifice in farming for you to be that farmer. Because don't forget, today we want to be that farmer, that successful farmer, that farmer who is happy, who is contented with wherever they are. And farming is a responsibility. That's one thing that we have to come in terms with. That's one thing that we have to accept and make peace, that farming is a responsibility. And don't forget, it's not an easy responsibility. It's a responsibility that you actually have to put in effort every single day. Every single day that you wake up, you have to put in more effort, more than you actually did yesterday, for you to be able to grow, for you to be able to reach that point that you've dreamt of. And another thing another thing that makes you that farmer, another thing that makes you a successful farmer, another thing that makes you a good farmer is that you have to have knowledge about your farm. I already talked about the soil, so have knowledge about what your farm has to offer. I have a farm, yes, and I'm starting this journey of farming. It's a little bit tricky, ideas in check, finances check, but what does this land that I have has to offer? What does it actually entail? What am I supposed to do for me to be able to reach that point that I actually want? What do I have to offer? What do I have to do? What exactly am I going to correct? What is right? What is wrong? What is perfect? And what is not perfect? This actually, you being able to understand your farm also comes in line with you being able to understand the climate in your area, or the type of climate that it's in that region. If people plant during rainy seasons, or if people depend on rain fed, if people have irrigation methods, which one is the best, which one is the cheapest? Because farming, as I said, it's a career, yes, it's a responsibility, it's not a walk in the park. This means that even if you have options, you should look for a cheaper, better option. If it, for example, it's irrigation, find out a cheaper way. Maybe don't use a lot of petrol. You can use a sun-fed solar system to power your water, maybe to the tanks or to the farm. You can find ways, or you can actually have a dam in your farm. This way is much better, for example, than you pumping using maybe petroleum, because this is a product that keeps on, the prices keeps on rising. This means that you have to, let's say, for example, put in like maybe a little bit of effort and a little bit of getting to understand that my farm is this size. I'm going to use maybe 40,000 liters of water, or I'm going to use 100,000 liters of water in 3 weeks. You have to understand before this 3, or if I have water currently, I have to be knowing that in the next 3 weeks I also have water in place, because you never know. You have to plan ahead. You have to be, one important thing, you have to be a planner. You have to keep records. You have to be good with the papers. This is a very, very important point actually when it comes to being a good planner. This entails from the type of seed that you planted, what you expect from that seed, the size. If, let's say, for example, it's capsicum, how many capsicum do I want to harvest in a single plant? Or how many maybe, let's say, onions do I want to be able, and what is the size? How many kgs should I harvest maybe in a single line? Those are some of the things that you actually have to keep in mind and ensure that they are checked. And ensuring that they are in check is for you keeping records. We already talked about finances and you being good at it, and you keeping records about your finances, but now this is about keeping records in your farm. Even if you have 2 farm laborers, write down, I have 2 farm laborers that I pay this a certain amount of money every single month, and that maybe I have a commission for them if they do ABCD. These are some of the minor things that you actually have to put them down for you to be successful, for you to be able to be that farmer that society needs. And moving on, we also have some of the, not a characteristic trait, but you as a farmer being able to adopt and grab and embrace the new technology in farming. The world is moving actually swiftly. It's moving like really, really fast, and technology is the new norm. So you have to understand that in farming there's also technology, and what is actually trending in the agricultural sector, consider that there is technology. What are some of the new equipment that are there? What are some of the new crops that are there that you plant that actually take less time? For example, for maize, we have 2 types of maize. We have maize that actually takes 3 months for it to be able to produce, and we have maize that takes 10 months. This maybe 3 months maize is good in dry areas, or areas that depend on rain, or no, on areas that depend on irrigation that don't depend on rain. Meaning that you can plant any time of the season that you want. You can plant now if you want. Like, you have to have such kind of important information at your fingertips, and this is by writing down. Just have like a small book of your own. Ensure that you state each and everything that you want to be done in your farm. If it's farming, I want not farming, if it's planting, for example, I want in 3 days time all the seeds should be planted, maybe because you want all of them to grow the same length, the same speed, the same time. So you just don't plant like 50 seeds this week and maybe the next seed you will be planting next week but one. No, just plant maybe once. This is by keeping records, ensuring that I need to plant for come next season. At this particular time I will be maybe watering the crops. When I'm watering the crops, will there be rain? Yes, so I need to plant now because in 2 months the rain will be here and maybe, or I'll be having water to maybe irrigate my crops. Be good at keeping records, be good at books, and be good at ensuring that whatever that's in your farm is written down. Don't have it in your mind, just write it down. Not just for maybe reference purposes, but for you to be able to see the progress, what you're doing, what you're going wrong, what losses you're experiencing, or what actually profits are you experiencing. And another thing I can say is, you as a farmer, you have to embrace this characteristic state of actually finding out about your market. Yes, you can actually go and maybe seek help from your neighbors, or maybe seek help from expertise, or seek help from a number of people. Maybe you have successful farmers in your area that are actually really successful. It's not bad to seek help, but also don't go with the crowd. Don't say, oh, watu this season tupande mahindi, sawa tupande mahindi. Just don't fall for it. Take a time, think through, okay, so if everyone is planting maize, and then so if I plant maize, will it sell? How is the market like? You actually find, for example, there's this farmer like last week who said that, who is actually surprised that people are complaining maybe there's no market, or like, when it comes to planning, it entails that maybe you harvest. I have harvested maize and my storage system or my storage facilities are actually good, so I can store this maize for as long as I want. And this person actually harvested maize in December because he or she knew that come January there will be more demand for maize, because what wameuza yao yote December, so there's no maize for January, so there'll be like a lot of demand. So this person says, no, I'm going to hold back my maize and wait for this particular time when the demand is high. This means that this person is actually going to get a lot of profit. Why? Because during when the market was just there, like kila mtu anauza mahindi, so prices are not that high, and compared to him when he has actually decided to sell these goods when the market is really demanding for these goods. Like ni kama you deciding to feed a child wakati ameshiba, hata kula sana, takula chakula kidogo na aache. And like when you decide to feed this child when this child is hungry, I'm sure he's going to finish this food like really fast, na therefore hautakuwa na wastage of food because amaliza food yako, compared to ukimpatia food kama ameshiba, inamaanisha hii food yenye ameonja kidogo kabakisha, you have to pour it. This is a similar way. Ensure that you get to understand your market, what it wants, the kind of products they want, how they want it to look like, the size and everything. These minimal things, these are some of the things that you have to be clear with. Understand that if I'm going to sell maize, they have to be perfect in this particular way, they have to be in this particular manner, no pesticides, no weevils in the maize, nothing is in the maize. This makes it very easier for you to actually be able to sell out your crops to the market. And being that farmer, for you to be able to be that farmer, once you understand the market, trust me, everything is set. If you've done everything from up there correctly and you get to understand your market, because you get farmers actually, they go for soil testing, they plant the correct seed, they plow, they put fertilizer, they use the best pesticides, and everything is just on check. But now when it comes to selling these goods in the market, they don't do as much as they had anticipated for them to do. Like the produce is not pleasing, it's not like, doesn't make you happy, doesn't make you feel motivated. This comes that you just slipped a small bit of it, and this is whereby you get to understand your market, the type of crops maybe the market wants, how they want them to look like, or how fresh, the size, the color. Maybe it's onion, maybe people love yellow onions, or not onions, maybe it's capsicum. Maybe people love yellow capsicums, or people love the red ones, or people love the green ones, or the yellow ones do sell a lot. You need to understand such kind of things. But then, because at the end of the day, we have capsicum, but we have a percentage that loves a specific type of capsicum. And when you get to understand this, it makes things actually a little bit easier for you as a farmer. And going a little bit back, and I was talking about the labor in your farm, and getting to understand what type of labor you want in your farm, getting to understand how you want everything done, and getting to understand that when you get to understand all these things, and when you get to tell your people that are helping out in the farm, this now brings us back to the market. Tell them this is what the market wants. If it's maize, I want a maize this size. If it's capsicum, I want a capsicum this size. This enables them not to harvest crops probably when they're not ready, leave alone them being ready, but they're not reached the point that you want. Like they have a rush in harvesting them. Maybe let's say if it's chilies, people love red chilies and they prefer the chilies that have already gotten red in the farm. And maybe you get your farm helpers, they've already harvested the green, the red chilies. Like you get to confuse yourself. So when you get to understand your market, tell your people or help the people that you have in your farm, the people that are helping you manage your farm, what you want and how exactly you want it done. That's all. Like that's all that you need when it comes to market. Just don't have to bother yourself at no. Just understand the market, and also be able to understand that these goods, after I harvest them, I have specific people that I'm going to deliver. These are my all-time customers. They don't go anywhere. They wait for my capsicum. Once they are ready, I call them, hey, the capsicums are ready. So you like sell them to particular people. You have a ready market in place. This is way much helpful, because if you go to the market, you can get everyone selling capsicum. But when you have a direct target, or when you have a direct market, maybe you're taking to a household for consumption or everything, or maybe this person is buying to go and sell them far, you can't tell. But when you get a ready market, it's very, very much important, and also very helpful to you as a farmer. Another thing for you to be that farmer that you're talking about, the successful, the proud, the big farmer and everything, it's you being able to act, to be flexible. Like just don't plant one type of maize. No, plant maize, plant beans. When maize backwards, at least you have beans. When beans backwards, at least you have capsicum, you have onions. At least there's something, even if it's little, it's going back to the market. Be flexible. Just don't stick to one type of crop. Don't stick to one particular type of crop. Plant variety. Diversify when it comes to planting crops, because this is very much helpful. You may be depending on one type of crop. Maybe it's maize. The entire 10 acres of your land have maize. No, that's not really much advisable. Do 5, gawa 1 acre to onions, another acre to capsicum, another acre maybe to watermelon, another acre to this way makes your work easier. So even if watermelons backfire, you know that at least I have onions, I have tomatoes, and also have burger that maybe are somewhere else. This actually makes like your work a little bit easier, because you get to understand what you're planting, and when you diversify, actually you get to have a variety of things. You don't actually depend on one particular thing, because you have a variety. You have plant A, B, C, and D. So it depends. In this season, plant A is doing well, very much well. I've also harvested it. So as a farmer, as a successful farmer, as that farmer that you want to become, you have to be like really flexible with what you're doing. Just don't stick and just focus on one type of crop. Be flexible. Try out new things. Try out the new technology. Try the new irrigation methods. And when you try, you have to, don't forget, don't just try, just do thorough research. Do thorough research in a way that you're sure that even if I try, even if I plant 10 crops in my farm, this soil is accepting these crops, and this seed is the best type of seed to use in this particular type of farm that I have. Farming, as I said, farming is a responsibility. It's not a walk in the park. You have a number of things that you have to do, and when we look we have looked at a number of the things that you can actually do for you to be that successful farmer, for you to be that dream farmer that you once dreamt of becoming. Because I'm sure you just don't wake up one day and become a farmer. No, you have to sit down, have a very big dream, and say, I'm going to achieve A, B, C, and D, and I'm going to be able to have this particular type of money. So for you to be able to be that person that you want, you have to put all these things that you've said into place and into consideration. This way it helps you to be good at what you're doing, good at what you are going to do, and also correct your previous mistakes. Another thing for you to be that farmer, I think this now comes into now the personal character traits that maybe a farmer has, or a person that is working in your particular farm has. And now this goes back again to you being, I'm going just to look at them like really fast because time is not on my side. We have one of them is you being patient, because you're raising crops. It's like raising a child. You just don't want your child at you. This child has been given birth today, and you want tomorrow they start talking, or they start walking. No, it doesn't work like that. Similar to crops, once you plant them, you have to be patient and patient and patient and patient, because sometimes these crops can actually frustrate you, they can surprise you, like they can do a number of things, but you have to be patient with them and keep on trying, even if they frustrate you, even if they get you to the corner and you feel like, I'm not doing farming. No, just be patient, and when you do the next, when come the next season, whatever plan that did not work, you ain't going to try it again. Just sit down and maybe do a thorough research. Maybe it's not the type of seed that you planted that was wrong, so you need to do thorough research. Another character trait we have, a farmer should be knowledgeable. They said he or she should be knowledgeable, like be able to understand how the farm looks like, what is being done, what do I need to understand, what do I need to improve. Like they should be able to know every aspect of the farm and what is actually happening in that particular farm. Another character trait is they should be a problem solver. They should be able to solve, like you as a farmer should be able to solve problems. Like maybe when your machine maybe jumps, you'll be like, no, I can call maybe a person to repair it, but let me check and see, can I be able to. If you can't, try it, but this you can only try if you have a previous experience with whatever machine that you are handling. But be a problem solver. Like you have to deal with your issues, don't have to deal with your issues in front of people, deal with your issues alone, and be able to understand yourself that you are a person and you are prone to mistakes. So whatever, anything that happens, whatever that goes wrong, know that it wasn't your fault, because you're learning, you're a human being and you're prone to mistakes. You are actually learning. So there's nothing that comes out perfect, like from nowhere. You also have to be organized. That's the most important thing. Just don't plant your crops helter skelter, one here, the other one there. Plant, if it's this portion onions, this portion capsicum, this other portion tomatoes, these other ones beetroots, and such kind of things. Just be organized from what time you wake up in the morning to the type of products you want to use in your farm, because you are the farmer, you understand your farm, so you need to know what is the type of product that I need to use in my farm, and also how am I going to manage labor in my farm. Those are some of the important skills, some of the important things that you as a farmer, you as that farmer that wants to be a successful farmer, that you need to actually do. I want to take a very short break, and we will also be coming back to the last bit of this show. And before we go, actually we have Omnia products that when we were talking about soil, now when it comes to what your soil is lacking and everything, we have a product from Omnia that actually treat your crops, not treat your crops, that actually treat your soil. Let's say soil, yes, because we have one product that's called the KU Mate. It's a product from Omnia that's an important nutrient providing product in your soil that you actually need to use. But for you to be able to get all this information, because they have a variety types of products that they have, from maybe components that are good for your soil, for your seeds before planting them. Maybe they are some of the things that you need to do with your soil, or there are some of the nutrients that your soil lack. You can actually go to their website and check out the Omnia and understand their products and understand what your problem in the farm is like, and talk to them via their website. And trust me, they will reach out and they will be of great help to you as the successful farmer that we want to become. I'll be taking a short break. Don't forget to continue commenting on our comment section below at AFarmers Media on Facebook. On Instagram, it's AFarmers with a Z, and we also are on YouTube live right now, AFarmers Media. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also hit that notification bell. We will be back shortly.
Pesticides are registered by the government to guarantee safety and effectiveness to those who want to use them. This is assured only if you read and follow label directions for proper usage.
Everybody wants to eat safe food, and one of the things that the international market requires is that we can actually assure them that the foods that we are growing are safe by providing details and records and documentation on the pesticides that we have used and how we have used them. So safe food is very critical to us, and we want to ensure that the farmers understand this, because safe food is also one of the big contributors to increased market access for our Kenyan products.
Upon purchase of pesticides from a verified agrovet, farmers are advised to check on labels to ensure they are readable with clear instructions in local language, English and Kiswahili only. If not, or if they are difficult to read, poorly printed, or lack information, they are likely to be illegal or counterfeit.
One of the features of a genuine product is the Pest Control Products Board number, whereby it's written PCPB in brackets here, that is certificate of registration, and then a numerical number of 4 digits, that is number 1. Then the other thing that you should look at is that the label should be in English and Kiswahili without another language. Not either Kiswahili or English, but both should be there. And generally, we encourage farmers to get used to products, such that when you realize there is a change in a product, you can really tell and maybe inquire more from the agrovet attendants.
Check labels for valid date of manufacture, expiry date, and batch number. Check the product label for the product registration number provided by the Pest Control Product Board. Only apply the amount as directed on the labels. More is not better and can cause harm to human health, damage crop, and elevate pesticide residues.
Different markets have set different requirements. And if the farmers are not using the pesticide in the right way, there is also a likelihood that our produce will be intercepted by different importing countries. Our produce will lose competitiveness, because these increased controls they are published, and different consumers are able to know that which country is exporting produce that is unsafe to their consumers, and therefore most of consumers will tend to shy away from our produce. And what that means again is we are going to lose markets, and when we lose the market again, we are going to lose big time in terms of economy for this country.
Also check for expiry date to ensure it is fit for use. Confirm that the active ingredient stated on the label and that the product is recommended for crop and pests against which it is to be used. Look out for color codes to guide on pesticide toxicity. Pesticides with green bands are the safest to use, followed by those with blue bands. Yellow color includes harmful products. and the red bands indicate high toxicity to health or a hazard to the environment. All can be used safely if handled and applied properly, but if there is a choice of different effective options, the safest product should be chosen. Also, check labels for storage and disposal instructions for guidelines on temperatures and surroundings. Labels should also list personal protective equipment (PPE) needed to prevent exposure to the pesticide. Do not use pesticides in any manner other than those specifically listed on the label. The pesticide label is your best guide to using pesticides safely and effectively. Farmers should attend available trainings on good agricultural practices and pesticide use within their counties. This offers reference materials on pesticide use and face-to-face meetings with experts. Remember, proper usage of pesticides increases yields and market access for your produce. Food safety is everyone's responsibility, starting with the farmer. Dawa bora, mazao bora.
Welcome to the last bit of today's breakfast show at AFarmers Media, where we connect, learn and grow, and also attain knowledge for us to be able to increase our profits. Because at the end of the day, we say money is important and farming is a business, so we need profits. And today we've been discussing about being that farmer, being the farmer you've dreamt, being that person that you've always dreamt of when you decided to venture into this journey. And we've been looking on some of the attributes that we have and some of the things that you need to do or you need to improve for you to be able to become that farmer. Don't forget, this is the Farmers Media. We connect, learn and grow. And you can also follow us on our social media handles. We are AFarmers Media on Facebook. We are live currently. We are also AFarmers on Instagram and Twitter. And we are AFarmers Media on YouTube. If you have any questions, any inquiries, anything that you need to be said, any topic that you need to be discussed or you need more knowledge on, you can actually DM us on our social media platforms, or you can actually call us on 0700293031. Let me repeat that again. You can find us or call us 0700293031. We are located in County 034 in Kajiado. So if you want to visit us, reach out to that number and I'm sure you will get help or the assistance that you need. So today we've been discussing about being that farmer. And being that farmer depends or entails you being able to be stuck or still dwelling in your dreams despite the challenges that you as a farmer are facing. Challenges must be there, but for you to be able to become that farmer, you need to stick around and actually keep on reminding yourself of this dream that you have to become a successful farmer, that you have to be that farmer in the person you dreamt of becoming. And this entails you being in a very correct mental space, because farmers have challenges and these challenges can affect you, and they might be affecting you but you are not aware, or you tend to assume and tell yourself you're going to be okay. As a farmer, you are also a person with emotion, so you can actually reach out to someone and talk to, open up to someone and tell them what you're facing, because farming, as I said, it's a journey, it's a responsibility, it's a task, a hard task, and also a risk that people have decided to take on, and some challenges can affect you mentally. So if you might be facing any challenges, you can actually reach out maybe to a psychiatrist or find someone just to talk to. It might be helpful, or it might help you be stuck or be like still keep on moving in this road, because we are saying that this is a journey and this is a dream that we have, and at the end of the day we have to achieve it. We need to be able to produce food for this country come the year 2050. We need to be able to feed the population that will be in this country currently in the next 28 years. So you need to be in check. You need to be like goal oriented. You have to just look forward and be like, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it differently. And these are some of the things that you've looked at, on some of the things that you can actually do different and be able to become that successful farmer, from keeping records, managing labor, managing your finances in your farm, being a knowledgeable person of what is happening in your farm, being a goal-oriented person, and being a well-organized farmer. Organization is broad, from keeping records, it's part of organization. Understanding your crops is keeping record. Planting your crops correctly is part of organization in your farm. And I was talking to a person just the other day, and this person was like really stressed. This person is a farmer. This person was like really stressed because you are here, you're a farmer, and you need to produce food, not just sell for your own consumption, because you need to eat. But now you are like, now, yes, I need to produce food. There's no rain. The rains are not here. As I said in the beginning of the show, this is that time of the year or of the season where people are already palilia. Like, people have already decided to palilia their crops and everything. This is that type of the month. But at this point, people have not yet planted. And if something is not done, from maybe lowering the prices of the farm inputs and also being just hopeful that the rains will be here, then trust me, the amount of food that you're going to produce is not even going to sustain us for long. It's not going to be able to feed us as a country. This therefore means that the number of people who have been stricken by hunger is going to rise, because we've not come to a solution to it. And the solution is maybe for us being able to produce more food. We can't just produce more food if this is the price of the farm inputs, because it's really devastating. It's really demotivating, because you're like, I want to plant. Like, I'm so optimistic that I want to plant, but now how am I going to plant with the current prices of the farm inputs, with the current prices of the way things are? Just the prices are going high in a rate that I've never seen before. It has never happened like this before, because a bag of fertilizer in 2021 was around 2,800 to 3,000, but right now a bag of fertilizer is between 6,000 to 7,000. So you can imagine the gap. It almost twice of the price that was there previously. It's so bad. Like, we're just hoping that the prices of fertilizers are going to lower. Not just fertilizers, the prices of the farm inputs are going to be lowered. It's just what you're hoping for. And this is the last bit of this show, and we've been discussing about being that farmer, being that successful farmer, and it's sad that I have to come to an end. But before I leave, I want to leave you with a proverb of today, which says that one man's food is another man's poison. One man's food is another man's poison. So I'm leaving that to you. You need to, before you join me tomorrow for tomorrow's show, ensure that you comment below, and I'm going to read your comments about today's proverb or about any question that you have. I'm going to be reading your comments on tomorrow's show. This has been the breakfast show with me, Mercy Kemunto. It's been amazing having you around, and I'm glad that you joined. And tomorrow, don't forget to join in, same place, same time, and ask questions, engage in this conversation, because we actually do gifting, we actually do give out, we do giveaways, and we're hoping that before the end of this week we'll be having someone to give something. That's a secret I'll be telling you. And don't forget to continue following us, share this group widely, share information about this page widely to your friends, to your family, to anyone who might be needing this type of information. This has been the AFarmers Breakfast Show with Mercy Kemunto. I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.